Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome to the GameCola Podcast. This is podcast number 94, and I am your host and podcast commander, Joseph Martin. With me today, I have Stefano and Diana. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Stefano. I've been on like 2 of these, so you should know me, hopefully. Unless you just were like, oh gosh, that guy's terrible, let's just erase all memory of him.
Aww.
And they would, okay, I was going to say, to have that thought, they would have to know who you are, but then you said erase memory. So, I guess you covered your plot holes.
Yeah, they just erased their memories of me.
Erase their memories of who?
Who?
Anyways, Diana is the only other person on this podcast. You should introduce yourself.
That's right. Hey guys, I'm Diana Gray, resident fangirl of GameCola.net, and I've been on more of these podcasts than I can probably count at this point. I hope you like me. If not, you're kind of in trouble.
Because you're probably going to be on a lot more.
I probably will.
Probably. All right. So today we have some fun stuff because we have some news to actually talk about today. But the fun thing is that it's news that will definitely be irrelevant by the time the podcast actually goes up. So that's fun.
The best kind of news, really.
So first of all, we'll just make a quick note that there was a new Deponia game announced, which is well within GameCola's sort of area of knowledge, of expertise. Deponia, let's see, it's Anna, but we're probably going to save most of the actually talking about Deponia in depth for when she can come on. And Paul, I know Paul's really into Deponia as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who actually tweeted about it the first time where I heard it from him.
Nicola gave me the whole Deponia collection on Humble Bundle, and I still have not played it yet. I am remiss in that. I think Anna wanted me to play it blind, though, so that's something to take into consideration.
See, I think it's the 4th game?
I think it is, too, because I'm pretty sure there are 3 of them.
All I know about it is I watched some of Nathaniel Hoover's stream of it, so...
Yeah, it's the 4th game.
I didn't even know there was more than one.
Deponia Doomsday.
Well, that's...
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Deponia Doomsday. So it comes out as of the recording of this podcast. It comes out in 5 days, which means that when the podcast goes up, it will be 3 or 4 days since it came out.
Probably. Something like that.
So look forward to that. If you haven't seen it, because I haven't really seen a lot of press about it, so you might not have known about it. So check it out if you're a fan of Deponia.
And you haven't already heard about it by the time this goes out, because...
You could check it out a second time, Stefano. You can check things out more than once. That's why there's video game rental stores, and you get the game, and then you give it back, and then you get the game again when you keep your memory card so you can keep playing it. That's the end of the story.
I lost track of your story about halfway through, not gonna lie.
Story was like not even... It was just a run-on sentence.
Okay.
I don't think it was a story. Anyway, we have another piece of news that we can talk a little bit more about, which is the rumors, which will be confirmed or denied tomorrow, as of Pokemon Sun and Moon versions.
But that's literally all we know.
Right. There's not a whole lot to talk about. So the story goes that someone was looking at copyright or trademark filings or stuff, but like basically where you file stuff where you say, hey, you're not allowed to make a game that's called this because we own that name.
Yep.
Right? So they found that the names Pokemon Moon, Sun version and Pokemon Moon were trademarked or copyrighted, I forget which leads people to believe that those will be the next entries in the series.
I think that has the potential to be really cool, but I'm also biased because I'm a Pokemon fan.
What's interesting to me is that it really did seem like if they're announcing this, if that's what they announce tomorrow, and we'll see what happens, that really suggests that they're really not going to go the Pokemon Z route, right?
I honestly never expected them to. I mean, it's been this long.
I didn't expect them to at first, right? But then, sometime after Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby.
No, you had it right the first time. You were right the first time.
Alpha Sapphire.
No,
I don't know.
Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire because I have Omega Sapphire.
Delta.
Yeah, it's Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire.
No.
And it'd be like,
That's no. Okay.
It is, right? Wait, where's my DS? Oh, I have Fire Emblem in. I'm a failure.
So it's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Wait, what did I say? Was I wrong? I was wrong. Oh my god.
What I said was Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, I think.
I don't know.
If I didn't,
oh god. We got all this out.
Well, because I searched Alpha Ruby and got something. So
No, it's Omega Sapphire. I'm looking at my case.
Anyway, okay, here's the thing.
Is it?
Those
Which one
games
is it?
It's Alpha Sapphire. It's ORAS. ORAS.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
Which always bothered me because why Alpha comes before Omega?
I don't know.
So why did you start with Omega? But anyway, so those games came out, right?
Yes.
And then it was like, okay, so at first I was like, okay, so I guess they're not going to do Pokemon Z, whatever. But then they started talking, like there's leaks of like new forms of, I don't know how you pronounce this,
Zygarde
or something?
Zygarde,
right?
Yeah.
There's like new forms of them.
Well, yeah, but here's,
like all these stuff.
I mean, they're not gonna make a new game just for different form. Like, the whole reason why I assumed they weren't gonna make another game is because they put the Z Pokemon in X and Y. Like,
they did that for all the other games.
Where was Rayquaza? Was Rayquaza in the original Ruby and Sapphire?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he wasn't part of the story, but
like an after story?
Yeah, he would go to.
Okay, well, the only playthrough I've ever seen of that generation was Emerald, so I just didn't know.
And in Diamond and Pearl, you can go catch Giratina in a cave.
Oh.
Except he's not important until...
But he's not important to the story.
Platinum, where they're like, oh, he's actually the third legendary instead of just another legendary.
Well, I've been wrong about everything.
Then X and Y had Curium.
Black and White.
That was Black and White.
Black and White
had Curium.
And who was another legendary in a cave that wasn't important to the story until the sequels. Now, the sequels were Black 2 and White 2, not Gray, but like...
Not Gray.
Being continued.
I would like Pokemon Gray, just saying.
And then X and Y have Zygarde, who's the Pokemon you find in a cave, who matches the motif, but isn't important to the story at all.
Maybe they'll announce both.
They talk, then you see all this stuff about all these forms, like...
Because Giratina had the origin form when Platinum was released. Kyurem has his 2 fusion forms, so...
Mm-hmm. And Zygarde, doesn't have any of that.
I think Z would be announced. Maybe that's what they're announcing, and the Sun and Moon thing is just...
Is for farther along? Well, I mean, I feel like tomorrow has to be like a huge announcement. And one of my friends and I were actually talking about this at dinner the other night, and we were saying we want there to be a new game. Like, we would prefer a new game to like Z or something like that. But
I would too.
Yeah.
I would be really interested to see if they try to go the but I want to see what they're planning to do with the whole, because like, okay, the 2 game and then a third, like, sort of combination game has basically been how it's been since the beginning, right? Like, even with, like, there was, technically, in Japan at least, there was green and red, and then there was blue.
And then there was yellow, which was
And then there was also yellow.
Which was our third, but their fourth.
Right.
Yeah.
Then gold and silver, which had crystal.
Yep.
Then,
Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
That Heart Gold and Soul Silver, when were those?
Yeah. But they didn't have a crystal.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't remake Crystal.
Third, most of the time.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they put everything from Emerald in... Well, not everything, but a lot of things from Emerald are in Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. I said it backwards again!
But no, Thunder Yellow or Water Blue or whatever.
But there was like there's the Delta episode in Omega Ruby,
which was awesome.
Which is really cool. But like, it's pretty clear that because they have that,
then they don't need it, which is fine.
But so the last we've heard of the third or fourth game format is the Black 2 and White 2, and the question is whether that's going to be a one-off sort of situation or if that's how they're going to approach, because there are things I haven't played Black 2 and White 2
neither have I.
Yet. Like, there are things about how they handled it that I don't like, but I think could be really really easily fixed. Like the weird difficulty thing they did with it, where like one game is really easy and one game is supposed to be like there's one game that has an easy difficulty and one game that has a hard difficulty. And you can't play the other difficulty unless you do like either connect with something or you beat the game once on the other one. It's like, why?
That's weird.
Do it like
I didn't know that.
Hopefully they're not.
They did it again though. Fire Emblem Fates. I wrote an article about that.
That is true.
Right.
I think it's.
But that's not the same people.
I don't know if well, at least from what I understand, because I haven't read I haven't read Fire Emblem. I haven't played the new Fire Emblem yet, but what I read in an article someplace is that one of them is like your typical standard Fire Emblem, and another one is like a little bit more outside the box Fire Emblem, if that makes sense. I think Nor is the outside the box one, if I remember correctly.
But those would be like, that's like
entire gameplay style.
Yeah.
This is
just difficulty.
You just have like really arbitrary stuff, like stuff where it's like hard mode in a video game is you'll just have less health and nothing changes about the game. You just have less health.
Yeah, I'm trying to play Fire Emblem Awakening on hard right now, and it is really difficult.
The idea of like making a direct sequel rather than just a more in-depth retelling of the story, which is basically what they start doing, right? Like, starting at Emerald, it's basically you get a slightly more detailed version of the story.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
that's like the true version or whatever.
Yeah, because don't you fight both teams in Emerald, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, it's like technically the most complete version of the story, I guess, if you want to go that way. Like you see both sides.
That's sort of like that's the canon story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Emerald, Platinum, and then Black 2, and then Black 2 and White 2 they mix it up because it has to do with there's lots of plot stuff.
Yeah, it's like an actual sequel.
Right. So that's the thing. Like it's a continuation. And it like with references to what happened in the game. I think that could be really cool.
I agree.
It would be like a good reason to actually justify buying that third game because like nowadays it's kind of hard for me to feel myself being justified in buying that third game.
Yeah.
It's almost all the same content.
Unless you just didn't buy the first two.
Right.
But if you're gonna buy the new Pokemon game, why would you wait for a third game to come out instead of just buying it when it first comes out?
Right, that's it. Especially when it would have taken so long. Because it's been a long time since X and Y.
It's been like 2 years. 3 years?
Came out.
It's been a number of years.
Did Emerald come out after Fire Red and Leaf Green?
Emerald is the companion to Ruby and Sapphire. And
right, but did it come out after Fire Red?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the... I'm not sure.
It's Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald.
Oh.
But then it's Diamond and Pearl, then Platinum, then Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
So there's not a trend, really, is what we're saying.
There isn't really a trend.
Okay.
Because, there weren't remakes when Crystal came out, so that doesn't really count. And then Black and White, Black 2, White 2. So really the trend, it's not unheard of that it could come after, but how long still was it between them?
Hang on, I'm looking. Fire Red and Leaf Green were 2004, and Emerald is 2005. Well, it was in Japan in 2004, and Fire Red and Leaf Green were in Japan and also in 2004, actually.
So I guess it's not completely okay. So it's not completely unheard of if Z is the next game that comes out. It's a little long, but not that long.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
comparable to the distance between Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald. Came out, but then it would have to come out in like a few months. If they're announcing it tomorrow.
Or maybe
well, X and Y came out in 2013. They came out in 2013. So
yeah, it's also a little. It also seems like it's a little early for them to be going into 7th gen.
Or maybe we're just gonna get another 6th gen game.
Like a new series, but still 6th gen.
Yeah,
that would be.
They've done that, but Fire Red and Leaf Green and Ruby and Sapphire were both third.
Those are
3rd gen.
Right, but one of those was a remake.
No, I mean Ruby, like the original Ruby and Sapphire. Oh, that's true. I didn't realize what you were. I was completely just thinking about Ruby and Sapphire.
You're saying that maybe they're going to make a brand new, like, separate region and everything, but still 6th gen? Sorry, I don't mean to say that you're predicting that. I'm saying
no.
The kind of you're talking about.
Kind of. I don't know. Hang on. I'm looking up some things right now. I agree with you in that it's a little bit early to make a new gen right now. So I'm trying to think like what they can do, what their plan is, like with this new thing. Maybe they're just gonna have another like story in the same area, which would be kind of lame, I guess. But I do think it's early to have another gen like coming out right now. I'm looking up some gens.
It's really been it hasn't been 3 years yet. So if it came out,
it's been almost 3 years.
It'll be
3 years in October.
Since X and Y came out.
Yeah, in October.
It'll be 3 years.
So
if it came out in October, that would be 3 years exactly, which would still be the shortest it's ever been between generations.
That is definitely true. But it's not completely out of the ordinary, possibly. I mean, not out of the ordinary. Like, it's not completely out of the question, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Long term, I feel like they really shouldn't they be trying to space this out a little bit more?
I mean, I'm in complete agreement with you. Like, they should.
Well, they didn't have a lot of new Pokemon in X and Y.
Well, I had fairy types.
Yeah, but they're like...
Hang on, I'm trying to find gens.
They're like, what? How many, like, actually new fairy types?
Hang on, I'm looking it up right now.
Honestly, most of the introduced fairy types are not very good.
The addition of 72 new Pokemon in Generation 6.
Like, altogether?
Yeah, bringing the total to 721. Well, I mean, they did accomplish a heck of a lot in Generation 6.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, they did the Mega Evolution, they did the...
Mega Evolution does kind of make up for the lower
They
amount of
added Super Training, they added the ability for a player to walk in an 8-directional grid as opposed to the 4-directional grid. It's very important. I'm reading advances in gameplay from the Bulbapedia. Oh, here we go. I can tell you which Pokemon were added. In
the fairy one, all the fairy ones that were added. So not because
I can't filter them by fairy. I just have all 72.
So a lot of before you start.
Oh, there you go.
A lot, in my opinion, a lot of the Pokemon that they gave the fairy type makes them interesting. Like they weren't fairy before, and now they are. That makes them more interesting and makes me want to use them more. But the ones that they introduced as fairy type, I'm not super into. Like Pikachu clone number 6.
What is Pikachu clone number 6?
The Den.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
The cotton candy. There's the cotton.
I thought it was Dedenne.
There's the ice cream.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, the ice cream.
Vanilla. No, that was not a new one. That was in it.
It was like an ice. One of them's like an ice cream cake.
I'm pretty sure that was already in there.
I don't remember. No, not the ice cream cone. That's Vanillite. I'm talking about the ice cream cake. It's like pink. It's pink. It's got a cherry on its head. It looks kind of like a dog. Slurpuff, I guess.
I think it evolves from the cotton candy one.
It evolves from a Swirlix, yeah.
What's the other? Right next to each other. I'm thinking of Aromatisse.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, that's a new one as well.
What? Wait. What is this? I do not have this Pokemon.
I clicked on the fairy type thing on...
No, I mean, like, I do not have this Pokemon in my game.
Oh.
Okay. Like Florges.
Oh, it evolves from Spritzy while holding a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Flabébé.
Flabébé.
That, it's like, oh, it's a flower. Like, there's flowers.
It's cute.
But there's so many flowers already. There's so many.
I like Carvink.
Flower motif.
It's a Pokemon riding a flower.
Right, but there's so many flower motif Pokemon.
I do like the starters in X and Y for the most part. Well, actually, I only used the fire one, and until people trade me the other ones. Also, I like Carbink a lot. I use Carbink. Is Carbink a fairy type?
Carbink.
It's a rock fairy. Okay.
There are 15 pure fairy types, 9 of which are new.
Wait, how does that work?
One of them's Sylveon.
Oh,
Some
okay.
Some Pokemon were chained.
Okay, I forgot. Oh, yeah.
No, Jigglypuff's normal fairy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, I have the list in front of me now.
I don't know how you can be half normal type, because to me, normal seems to be like, not a type, the type that's not a type. How can you be part not type and part type? I've never understood how you can have that.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I think it just sort of spices things up.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably move on.
Yeah, we've talked about Pokemon.
Depending on what gets announced tomorrow, the preceding stuff is
will
be edited in a certain way. If it's like all really, really, really irrelevant, then I'm gonna get rid of a lot of it.
Okay.
Aw, but we worked so hard on...
I mean, we're just talking about our thoughts on what would happen if Pokemon Z came out. But I honestly think they're gonna announce a new game. Only because they have 2 logos already finished. Even if it's not being released anytime soon.
Wait, did they get the logos?
Yeah, I saw pictures.
I thought that was just stuff that people made.
No, I saw it on Polygon. While I was in class, actually. Let me look.
Just because they have the name copyrighted doesn't mean anything.
Where is
Square's
it?
been sitting on Chrono Break for like years.
Oh, here we go.
They have Chrono Break copyrighted, and it looks like they are never going to make another Chrono game. So.
Okay, fine. It doesn't say that they're real, but they look really real. It just says recently filed trademarks. All right, what else have we got?
Well, I've introduced the last 2, so it's one of your guys' turn if you have something.
I can talk about Ace Attorney.
All right, talk about Ace Attorney.
Okay. Well, it's actually kind of old, but I haven't been able to talk about it since the site's been down, so I've talked about it on my Tumblr pretty extensively. The new prosecutor was announced for Ace Attorney 6 fairly recently, and we got Famitsu scans, and they look real nice. What they say is that the prosecutor is it's an international prosecutor and a monk in the Kingdom of Kurain, and then we don't know the gender of the prosecutor. Like, it's not inherently obvious in the pictures, and they haven't said anything yet. Yeah, well, I don't know. The prosecutor says that convicting the guilty in court means salvation for the victim, so I feel like this game is gonna have not religious theme, but like, it's gonna be heavy on the spirit channeling stuff, hopefully. Which hopefully means the return of a very specific character that we were all missing from Ace Attorney 5. A lot of people... No, I will kill someone. I was so happy that Wendy Oldbag was not in that game. Don't laugh, it's not funny. She wasn't there to steal my man, finally.
No, your man just wasn't there until, like...
the end.
The last thing, and then he was like, hey, I'm here
because reasons.
Okay,
and
goodbye. Hey, I'm gone now.
No, I mean, okay, I've talked about Dual Destinies on like 3 podcasts before. I'm not going to do it again. But that game needed him, and he delivered. Yeah, so I think that's good that they've announced a new prosecutor. My fingers are crossed that it's a girl. I really want another girl prosecutor, because the only one we've had is Francisca, and also Darkloff, you want to count.
She did it so...
She did. Yes, I agree with that, like, a lot. But we need another one. And I mean, we also got confirmed, because I don't think this had been confirmed yet, but I mean, we all kind of accepted it as given that Athena is coming back, the Moon Matrix is coming back, like all the stuff from 5 is coming back. And we're hoping that we're gonna see Maya in this game, because the game takes place in the freaking Kingdom of Kurain. If they don't bring her in, it's gonna be a crime.
Who are you? You keep saying we. Who are you speaking for?
Me and Paul.
Okay.
We talked about it, like, a bit. And also my
just wanna
Tumblr
make sure that
followers.
People didn't get the impression that you're representing the entire fan base.
Also my Tumblr followers. And a lot of people, most people, everyone that I've talked to about it. Everyone.
It escalated really quickly.
Everyone.
Yeah, so
and
Diana
my
doesn't...
Tumblr followers, and everyone.
Yeah, Diana doesn't represent the fan base. She just represents the fan base.
I do.
It's totally different.
I really should represent the fan base. But, it gives us... We got an update to the site, which was nice. I'm scrolling through court records right now because I didn't write an article on this, so I'm not admittedly as informed as I should be. The recording for the anime started this week, and by this week, I mean last week.
Like the voice?
Yeah, because the anime is officially starting on April 16th in Japan. I believe it's April 16th. It just says April still on the site, but I believe I saw April 16th announced somewhere. And that's going to be really, really exciting. We've waited for too long for this anime to happen.
I've always thought it would make a good anime if they did it right.
Everyone has. And so we're like, yes, it's finally happening. I think it's going to go through the first 2 games, which I'm fine with because that's mostly Edgeworth. So that's where we get the most Edgeworth, so I'm happy.
Think it'll go through the plots of games?
Yes.
Or just, that's what it's going to do instead of being entirely new stuff?
I think it's going to probably stay pretty true to the games.
I thought it would be cool if we, actually got new stuff.
I mean, I hope there's going to be new stuff.
All the stuff that's happened, because Apollo Justice kind of just completely changed the entire canon.
I don't want to talk about Apollo Justice.
Actually.
What?
Is he coming back in
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do we know if he's... Because you said maybe he'll actually have character development.
I have expressed that, yes. 3rd time's the charm.
So, at first, when I met him in 5, because I hadn't played Apollo Justice, I thought it was okay, his, general lack of development, because I was he had a whole game to himself.
Yeah.
This is just a little bit, he's probably had all his character development. And then I played that game, and I'm like, oh, so that's why everyone was like, why is Apollo here? He still has no character development, because he had that last game.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt one more time. I'm ready for Apollo to get some character development. I'm excited. I'm good with it.
I don't hate him. I just hate everything about how he's been used.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
It looks kind of cool, but I think the problem was the prosecutor in that game.
Yeah, Clavier.
Clavier? Was it Clavier or Chris? He was nice.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, because it's cool that he's nice, but he's helping you out, and the whole game, it's Phoenix is helping you, Clavier is helping you, Trucy's helping you, so Apollo isn't an ace attorney, he's a guy who knows all these ace attorneys.
I feel like they kind of tried to fix that with 5 a little bit with Black Quill, but it didn't work because Black Quill knew Athena, and that meant they have a connection, and a lot of people ship them. Not saying that I ship them, maybe I do, you don't know, but it didn't work. It fell flat. So and then of course they had to have the end of that game where Phoenix and Edgeworth get to go up against each other again, and you realize that everything that's been going on in this game is completely wrong when you see Phoenix and Edgeworth going at it again, and you're just thank God we got through.
Edgeworth had a connection.
Yeah, but
Franziska was tangentially connected. Godot, I still don't know how to pronounce it.
And people say both.
Because I know it's waiting for Godot, but I don't know if that's how it's pronounced in Japanese. It's still Godot, and I feel
I don't know how that joke translated. Yeah, I don't even know. That's something I'm not familiar with. I don't know how they handled that in Japanese, really. It's probably on the wiki. I could probably look it up, but I've already looked up enough things today. There's just something different about it. I've talked about this before. I know I have. There's something different about the intensity that Phoenix and Edgeworth have in the courtroom. That's different from everyone else who Phoenix goes up against, and then who Apollo and Athena go up against. It's just different. And maybe it has to do with that being the first game, and that's the first real interaction with being an ace attorney that you have. But it's different, and nothing can stand up to that. Which is why I have a soft spot for the first game.
Yeah, I played the first game after I played 2 and 3, and because I got them like completely out of order.
That's fine.
Like I played the second game first.
That's why they have tutorial cases.
I'm like, this is good, and I'm like, why does everyone not like this game? And I like played the third game. I'm like, oh wow, this game's really great. And then I played the first game. I'm like, oh wow, this game's really great. That's why everyone was like, oh, the second game wasn't too good because it came directly after the first game, which was like, really good. And the second game was okay.
It's not bad.
It's just not the first game. And then the third game's like, okay, yeah, let's just step this up and finish this thing off strong. And you're like, yeah. What's next? Is there going to be a next? I would like there to be a next, but also, this was a great ending. And they're like, justice. Who needs any of that? Let's just throw that great ending away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's
Phoenix, how he the triumphant attorney, how he, defeated all odds.
He saves Maya again, and it's great. And
survives falling off a burning bridge.
And then he goes and becomes a drunken hobo. See, this is fun. I can talk about Phoenix Wright on this podcast because Stefano and I have never talked about Phoenix Wright before. So this is acceptable.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever actually talked because we were on the
we sang
podcast.
Yeah, this is the first actual normal podcast we've been on together. So yeah, so Stefano and I could just talk. Sorry, Joe, you're kind of.
I can't. I'm doing research for the next topic I'm going to bring up.
Okay, we'll just keep talking until you're done with that. Let us know.
Well, I also had a topic.
Oh, okay. What's your topic? Talk about that.
Okay, mine actually happened in the past for us, not just you, but the last batch of DLC for Super Smash Bros. Was released. So my question is basically, who would you like to see? Who would you like to have seen there? Aside from the obvious answer of Ace Attorney characters. Because we all know Diana
Ace Attorney characters are in they're in the Marvel
Yeah.
Capcom, right?
And they're also in Project X.
Fight?
Yeah, Phoenix Wright does.
I played. He doesn't fight.
He throws papers at people.
Throws papers. It's really funny. He points at people, says objection with the word balloon that hits people. He also has the second most damaging ultra combo in the game.
Go Phoenix
Wright. Combo in the game. He basically presents evidence that you are guilty of whatever crime, and you can do it to the final boss, who's Galactus, the Devourer of Planets.
Guilty.
So you can prove him guilty of something with your evidence of a cell phone, a knife, and a vase.
Which I think it's a reference to the DLC. Well, it's not DLC really. It's the 5th case of the original game, because those were all the pieces of evidence that appeared in that. Actually, wait, before we talk about that, before we talk about Smash, really quick, because that just reminded me of something. Yeah. And then we can talk about Smash, because I actually do want to talk about Smash. Can we just talk about how in Holiday Star, Hatful Boyfriend, Holiday Star, excuse me, there was a long Ace Attorney reference, and I cried on recording because I was like, this game is made for me. Who did this? How did you know? It was great. Okay, I said my piece. Back to Smash. Thanks for not commenting on that, you guys, and making me sound stupid.
Well, I can't really say anything about
I haven't played Holiday Star. I played some of
you guys are failures. But there is a in the very first, it was the first episode, so I recorded on the day the game came out. I was super pumped, and it's literally the main character, which is of course me, stops one of the birds in the middle of his thing that he's talking about, and literally goes, it says it's supposed to be objection, and I got told by one of my commenters that in the original game it's the actual bubbles from Ace Attorney, but they had to replace them in the Steam release because copyright reasons. So now it says I object, and I forget what the other one says instead of hold it, but it was literally the greatest moment of my life. Okay, now we can talk about Smash. You already know my answer for who I would want in Smash, so...
Your answer besides Ace Attorney.
Oh, okay.
That's why I knew your answer was going to be Edward, Phoenix, right, or someone.
Yeah.
So that's why I specifically excluded Ace Attorney characters.
Okay.
So I would get an actual answer that I didn't already know.
I have 2, actually. Well, is it okay? Well, it's kind of in he's a trophy or like a assist ball, I think. But I have two. I would love to see Professor Layton in Smash. That would be awesome.
I don't know how they could fit him in,
but it would be
they
amazing.
Fit, like, Wii Fit Trainer, they fit the Villager.
Yeah, come on.
They fit a lot of people, and so you could find a way.
Professor Layton could totally be in Smash.
He fences. He has a giant.
He does fence. He's really good at sword fighting.
He has a machine gun that shoots poker chips.
His final Smash reminds me of
a puzzle.
And everyone who doesn't solve the puzzle gets in.
Everyone just dies. And then my other.
No, don't die if you can solve the puzzle.
Okay, if you can solve the puzzle, but it's like a ridiculously difficult puzzle. And then my other choice would be Jirahim, or however you pronounce it, actually, because I don't actually know. Yeah, some people. Yeah, that's how I usually pronounce it, but I've been playing a lot of Skyward Sword with a friend who says it that way, and that's been influencing me. But yeah, I would love to see him in Smash because he's already an assist trophy or something, isn't he? Question mark.
Yeah, he's an assist trophy. He comes out and like slashes and shoots his little.
I think it would be super fun to be able to play as him because I love him.
He would be fun.
He's so sassy.
Yeah. Jirahim's a really interesting character. He's like,
I love him.
Not anything like a normal Zelda character.
Yes.
Like really, I don't know. He's like
sassy.
He's great. He's just like great. It's like he shows up and you're like, what is this guy? Who is he? What is he doing? And then
I was terrified of him.
He steals your sword from you, and it's like, this is new.
Also Chrom, but we already have enough Fire Emblem characters, but I just think Chrom is hot, so...
Yeah, we already have enough Fire Emblem characters who are just
part of a Final Smash?
Yeah, he is. But, I mean, I like Chrom. He's hot, so...
My favorite thing is that Chrom couldn't be included because he's just another Fire Emblem swordsman, and then they included Roy, who is
I know.
another Fire Emblem swordsman.
Ooh!
I get that everyone wanted him back, but I would prefer him to, be like completely different, or at least not a clone of Marth, even though technically he's not actually a clone of Marth because his moves have different properties and he holds his sword backhanded and the Final Smash behaves differently or whatever.
It's basically the same.
He's a clone.
He is.
He does the exact same stuff.
Also, I would have loved to see more characters from Xenoblade, but we already got Shulk, so I'm happy with that, but I feel like there was more potential there.
The character that I really wanted...
Yeah, who did you want?
Was Shovel Knight.
Wasn't that one pretty popular?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty disappointed that Shovel Knight... Because, I mean, like, it's just, like, it would have been... I don't know, it would have been really nice to have something that was, like, very much... It would fit, like, thematically really well, but then, like, in terms of, like, what it represents, like, this really successful indie platform, getting recognition like that would have been really cool.
I mean...
the game Shovel Knight is just really good. Like, with free DLC, that is also really good. Like, even if it was, like, the free DLC was a separate game, it would be a good game by itself. So, it's just... I would have really liked that, but, they did get an amiibo.
That's true.
Yeah, and everyone was like, oh, he's definitely gonna be in it because he has an amiibo, and it's like, no, he just has an amiibo because why not?
Because amiibo.
Speaking of indie characters in the game, like, Commander Video from Bit Trip Runner was a trophy for some reason or another.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why. And then Rayman's a trophy because...
I know a lot of people wanted Rayman in Smash.
Cool.
Wasn't it, like, false confirmed at one point? Isn't that, maybe that's... Well, that's probably not why, but...
I do know that on the day that Robin and Lucina were announced, the image on the official site was of the Rayman trophy, so I thought it was going to be Rayman. And then it was like Captain Falcon, and then Fire Emblem happened. I was like, oh, okay, so why Rayman? And it turns out Rayman just has a trophy because I don't know why. I don't know why he has a trophy. It's like, here's a third-party trophy. Enjoy.
Like, are you talking about assist trophy?
No, he's a trophy in the game, just like
that you pick up.
Trophies of random Nintendo characters. And random characters from the third-party games that are included, and then Rayman and Commander Video. They're just there.
Yay, representation.
I guess, but it's like, why those two specifically?
I don't know. But I mean, wait, what about you, Stefano? Who did you want in Smash?
I have like a gigantic wish list of characters.
I'm pretty sure everyone does.
Yeah.
I mean, I already got Mega Man, so I'm like...
Yeah, you got Mega Man.
I'm good, really.
That would be fine. But actually, a Castlevania character.
That would be cool.
Or getting Snake back. But, like, definitely like Simon Belmont or like Alucard. Or, I don't know, Soma from the DS and Game Boy games. Castlevania would have been nice, but Konami's just kind of not doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
What they are doing is just actively undoing what they are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what Konami is on, okay? They're like,
yeah.
all these classic games, let's just stop doing that and not do that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, hey, Kojima, I know you made like some of the best games that everyone loves. Go away. Hey, Silent Hill fans, I know you all love this brand new Silent Hill game that looked really good and was made by two people who you think would do a great job, and how this would finally redeem the series after we kind of screwed it up. Guess what?
Never mind.
You don't get it.
I was excited for that.
You still have PT. Wait, no.
That's...
You still have it, but anyone else who wanted it, you can't have it anymore. Ha ha ha. And there's no way to get it. So,
I was admittedly very excited for that Silent Hill game, so I was really bummed out.
I'm not really... I'd never played a Silent Hill game. I still technically... I technically have now. I played, like, the first 3 minutes of Silent Hill 2.
I like watching other people play them.
I discovered I am, like, a huge baby when it comes to horror games, because first part of Silent Hill 2, you're, like, walking through the woods in some mist, and there's, like, absolutely nothing happening, and I was like, this is terrifying. I know something's gonna happen, even though I know nothing is going to happen for, like, a while. But I'm just walking through the woods in the fog, and I'm, like, terrified, and I'm like, I'm a wimp. What's wrong with me?
We can segue into the next thing.
Okay.
Which is, so, one of the reasons I asked you specifically, Diana, about the anime, Ace Attorney anime, was because something that's been on my radar for a little while, I'm waiting for new news about it, is the Mega Man TV show.
That's a thing?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're making a new Mega Man TV show.
I think I heard something about that, but I thought I just confused it with, like, the classic.
There's very few details about it.
Is it coming? Where is it? Is it coming from Capcom?
It's coming in 2017, so long time from now.
That's okay.
But one of the things I was able to dig up that I think is really interesting is that it's being made by the same people who made Ben 10 and
really?
Generator Rex.
Holy crap. That was a long time ago.
Other stuff too. Well, no, Ben 10 is like still on.
I mean, then I watched Ben 10.
Which is like, so I remember, like, Ben 10 came, I'm looking at this, Ben 10 came out in 2005.
Oh, that was, yeah.
And I remember really liking Ben 10.
Yeah.
At least at the beginning. I don't know how it is now, but, like, in terms of the quality now, I think part of the issue there might be that it's just been going on for so long.
Yeah.
That at a certain point, it's just kind of like, this is just what it is now. But drawing comparisons between Ben 10 and Mega Man was something that I had never done before. But it's actually kind of interesting how there's a lot of stuff that is actually kind of similar between them, I guess. Like, you've got Ben 10 had the alien transformations, Mega Man's got the powers, the Robot Master powers. So, like, that could work. Like, they have experience writing stories with that kind of thing, so I think it worked. They also made Generator Rex, which is also kind of, I think in terms of, like, the abilities, that also kind of works with it.
Yeah, I saw like parts of half of an episode of that, and it looks like sort of Mega Man, like it's a robot kid who can use different powers or something.
Right, yeah.
Then again, that describes like half the. Actually, that describes like every single robot kid show on TV.
So I'm interested in it, but see the thing about Mega Man TV that and like even Mega Man, any Mega Man stuff that isn't a video game, I am like pretty adamant that like you said, Diana, that what you were really you thought that they with Ace Attorney that they were going to stick to the story really.
As far as I know, at the moment, that is the plan.
And that's what you want, right?
Well, it's complicated. Like, I do want to see a little bit more, and I have, like, total faith that they can deliver on that, and I hope that they do. But at the same time, I really hope that they stay true to the original elements of the game and throw as much, like, not fan service, that's not the word I'm looking for, but, you know, like, stuff from the games in there that they can. So, like, as much as I would like to see a little bit extra, if it completely deviates from the source material, then I'm not gonna like it as much as I would.
Right, see, the thing about Mega Man is, like, I think that narratively, you have to change a whole lot for it to work as not a video game. Because,
Yeah,
like...
Oh, well, for sure.
Is very, like, it's very narrative-driven, right? Like, most of it is text.
Yeah.
There's a lot... It's all plot.
It's all plot.
Like, there's plot, there's story. Mega Man. Well, yeah, but there is plot, and there is interesting plot and story elements in Mega Man. Like, there really is, if you look at it. But the problem is that the structure of it, like, it's got a lot of good story elements, but the structure of a Mega Man game does not lend itself to a narrative adaptation. Because the Robot Masters being able to go in any order, it's just not interesting to watch. Or like even with the comics, it's just not interesting to read about because it always goes the same way. They pick one of the Robot Masters to start with, and then he beats the first one, he gets the power, he uses that power to beat the next one, he uses that one's power to beat the next one, he uses that one's power to beat the next one. It's not interesting. Because with a Mega Man game, you can play it over and over again, and so you get these different experiences of, this time I'm fighting this Robot Master with this weakness, and another time I won't be, or starting with this. But when you just pick one, there's no interest in it. And there's...
Plus, if they do it the same way, it's like, part of the fun of the Mega Man games is going in completely blind and different, and like, you're fighting this boss and you can't do any damage to him, and he just keeps killing you. You're like, okay, you do a different level, and you come back, and you're like, I wonder if this new special weapon does any... Oh, wow, that killed him.
But also for the level up elements, too. Like, a lot of the time in... Sorry, I have a lot to say.
Go for it.
How are they going to do the disappearing blocks?
But see, that's the thing.
Iconic.
That's the thing. In, like, all this... Anything that's not Mega Man video games, which I've looked into a lot of that stuff because I like Mega Man a lot, if that wasn't clear. But like all this stuff, it's like they brush over all of this all the levels. It gets brushed over. Like in the Mega Man fan movie, there aren't even levels. It's just like, fight this Robot Master, fight this Robot Master, fight this one, fight this one. It's like, it's just there because it has to be, which is why I think... Now, okay, the Mega Man Ruby Spears cartoon is very cheesy, and you can't take it seriously, and, like, after, like, the first season, the quality takes a giant drop. So I understand that. But the idea behind it, of it being Dr. Wily having the Robot Masters and Mega Man just fighting the Robot Masters in different circumstances per an episode, I think lends itself a lot better to a sort of TV show format, or even or like a comic or a narrative format, where you can really find a way to make the Robot Master's powers and themes mesh with some sort of setting, other than just juxtaposition, which is what you have in the games. in the games, there's only juxtaposition. The boss chamber is always just this secluded area. It's very rarely has anything to do with the other elements of the area. Like there are very few, or any really, I can't really think of where like something that you learned about in the stage is then used in the boss fight. Like that doesn't.
The only one I can think of is Metal Man, because I think his he has like
the conveyor belts.
Yeah, conveyor belt.
The conveyor belts in Metal Man. That's a fair point. And Flash Man, and the ice physics. There's ice physics and water level. There's water level. But like Metal Man is a good example, definitely. But usually it's just a chamber, and it's just a part of the level, which works from a gameplay standpoint. But from a narrative standpoint, it's just there's a reason why both aren't usually addressed.
So like, what if in the TV show, if we had him like fighting Heat Man, and he was like on the disappearing block challenge of Doom, actually fighting Heat Man, like they were both jumping from block to block over the pit of like molten lava.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Like that's where you had the fight, and then like they'd fall on and they'd be like floating on bits of things. Like it'd be like the Mustafar fight in Episode 3, except with Mega Man characters. So definitely, obviously better.
But then the other thing to worry about is like the characterization, because the thing is that Mega Man, like since there isn't a lot of narrative in Mega Man, he doesn't really have a super solid, consistent personality. Which, you know, for a video game character, that sort of makes sense. Like, you know, there's a lot of trying to leave a lot of room to to project onto them. Same sort of way that Link doesn't really have a plot. Doesn't really have a plot. You said a word and then I just said that word.
Sorry.
The way that Link doesn't really have a character because you're supposed to project onto Link. So like all Mega Man really has is a strong sense of justice. And the other characters really don't have a whole lot to them, which makes me worry that I don't want them to make the Mega Man characters that I don't like. Which like Dr. Wily, he kind of has a character, right? Like
he's stereotypical evil, conquer the world.
He's got that sort of going for him already, and
like some adaptations or interpretations of him have actual motives besides I am evil, I will take the world, and I'm mad at the light. He has like an actual motivation, and he has a character.
But that's the thing, like in Mega Man, these characters do have like motivation, and there is like narrative stuff that happens just sort of behind the scenes in between games. But it's, you know, I don't want Mega Man to be like a whiny brat kid, and I don't want Roll to be like the really stereotypical stuck-up bratty female sidekick prude character.
Yeah,
which is like usually what happens in these sorts of situations.
And, you know, Proto Man,
I don't even like Proto Man. Proto Man will be a little bit more forgiving because Proto Man's, it's really hard to, like, if you really try to narratively address Proto Man, it's really heavy. Like, if you try to think about it seriously, because obviously in the games they're not really thinking about it that seriously. It's just kind of this and that. But like when you really think about what's going on and trying to take that seriously, it's heavy.
Well, I mean, because the Ruby Spears cartoon had him be evil, and it seems like it'd be easy for them to have him be like, "Oh, I'm aloof and
I don't want him." You're right.
Man for some ill-defined reason, and then they define the reason, and he's still a jerk. Because like
he could be
in game, it's always like a mysterious. I have my own agenda, and for now, it's against you. But then he comes and helps you in like 4. And he's like, I have my own agenda, and this time it's actually allied with you, but I'm not actually helping you.
But see, like, he's not like, I think the tendency would be to make him an anti-hero sort of character, but that's not really that's really more base, like, later on in the game, in the series. Base becomes the anti-hero when he rejects Dr. Wily.
I ain't gonna do what you say. I'm gonna be the best robot ever. I'm just going to kill all your stupid robots.
Proto-Man is... Proto-Man's motivations were supposed to be made a mystery. And what happens is, like... Okay, here's what happens with Proto-Man, right? It's actually kind of... I've done, like, a lot of research to try to figure it out, and it's a little complicated. So, okay. Proto-Man gets made. Dr. Light number 000. There isn't necessarily a canon answer to whether or not Dr. Light and Dr. Wily had parted ways when Proto-Man was built. I don't think. But they had when Proto-Man runs away. Proto-Man runs away because there's a malfunction in his solar core that Dr. Light made. And he's worried that if Dr. Light tries to fix that solar core, it's going to change his personality and basically turn him into a different person. So, like...
Doesn't he have, like, free will?
Right, and there's that sort of thing. That's part of it, too. That's also a little more murky. Like, sometimes that's more interpretation than it is, like, canon. But, yeah, that's part of it, too. But, like, the canon answer is that he doesn't want his personality changed. Whether that includes his ability to have free will or not is not super addressed. Then he runs away, but his core is malfunctioning, so he kind of collapses, or something happens to him. Dr. Wily finds him, when he fixes Proto-Man, that gives him the expertise to learn how to reprogram the Robot Masters, the original series of Robot Masters, by fixing Proto-Man. But then he continues to fix Proto-Man up until the events of Mega Man 3, and then Dr. Wily convinces Proto-Man to fight Mega Man and Dr. Light. Proto-Man already has an agenda against Dr. Light, so it's not very hard to convince him. But over the course of Mega Man 3, Proto-Man sort of gets wise to what's going on, and then sort of switches sides. And then that's why he betrays Dr. Wily says he betrays him in Mega Man 4, but Proto-Man had pretty much already switched sides when he saves Mega Man at the end of Mega Man 3.
Yeah, but Wily was kind of buried under rubble at that point, so it's possible he didn't actually know about that. He's buried under rubble. How do you know what's going on when you're under rubble?
But he still saves Mega Man.
Yeah. So he did betray him, but Wily might not have known that.
Yeah. The fact that
Wily...
I was
trying to say.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now.
Okay, sorry, I confused everyone.
But see, so, like, that's a lot. There's a lot in there with Proto-Man's story. And there's a lot in there with, like, how that affects the world of Mega Man. And it's not something that's immediately apparent when you first play. Because between Mega Man 3 and, like, through, I think, Mega Man 5, really, Proto-Man, what was going on with Proto-Man was supposed to be a mystery. People didn't know what was going on. Like, that's why he could be the villain of Mega Man 5, because people didn't know whether or not he was a good guy at that point. Now, current time, by Mega Man 6 onward, it was pretty clearly established that Proto-Man was a good guy.
Yeah.
Mega Man 5 sort of puts that nail in the coffin, and then from then on, like, any interaction with Proto-Man, he's definitely helping. And then, by Mega Man 10, he's like a playable hero character. So, he's not an anti-hero, though. He was just someone whose motivations were unclear. Base is an anti-hero. Because his motivations are clear, and they're not necessarily good. But, okay, so the point of all that I just talked about, I'm sorry, it's your time, Diane. It seems like it's your turn to not have something to add to.
I don't feel like I am educated enough on Mega Man to contribute to this discussion, because the only experience that I've really had with Mega Man is the hacks and slash that we did that one time. So all I'm thinking of...
Don't take that as representative.
Every time you mention a character from that hacks and slash, I just think of that.
You should play Mega Man.
I know. I really actually need to
watch the first episode of the Ruby Spears, because it's just fun.
Okay. I will do that for you.
Watch Nathaniel Hoover's playthrough.
I feel like I have. I've watched it before. I've watched them before, but it was like a super long time ago.
Okay, but so basically, the short version of what I'm trying to say is I don't want Mega Man, Roll, and Proto Man to be Ben, Gwen, and Kevin.
Yeah, that would be not
just
good.
Like superimposed. That's the main thing I'm worried about. They're just gonna superimpose these sort of generic characters onto Mega Man when there's a lot you can really do with that. Like sort of the obvious route is the sort of robot ethics, free will sort of thing. That might be a little heavy for a children's show, though.
Yeah.
There's tons of stuff that hasn't been explored, like the relationship between Mega Man and Roll, like as brother and sister, is like never explored.
So maybe they'll do that.
Which is what I would love. But
it's explored slightly in 10, but that's like
no, not really. Roll's dead for all of 10. She doesn't do
Mega
anything.
Man cares. There we go. That's more than we had in the game, other than there is a girl named Roll.
That's the point. Roll has like in the series, Roll has like nothing. Honestly, the biggest thing, the only reason I don't want Mega Man to like end yet is because I want them to do something with Roll, like something interesting. Because like I take pride in being able to explain that there's lots of the characters in Mega Man aren't quite as simple as they appear. Like Mega Man, Dr. Light, Dr. Wily, Proto Man, Bass are all like more complex characters than they might appear. Roll is not.
Roll is exactly what she appears to be. A girl. That's all we know. That's literally like all we know about her.
Like
a girl.
Like sometimes you get stuff like maybe she is like as the younger sister, she takes that role on, but that's in Mega Man Battle and Chase, and it's like very just not anything, and there just needs so that's what I want. Roll has to be a main character. That's my first requirement for this. Roll has to be like a main character and an interesting and good character. And if they do that, like they could mess everything else up, and I think I would probably be satisfied.
And I think it'd be cool if they had Bass early. Like
I'm conflicted on that. I don't know. I feel like it depends how they do it, right? If they go the route of staying true to the games and having Mega Man 1 and they do the Mega Man 1 plot and then they do the Mega Man 2 plot, then I don't want them to bring Bass out.
Okay, yeah, if they do that. But if they do like...
But you have to finish Proto Man before you can start with Bass, is the thing. If they're going to
I was thinking maybe you could do Bass and then have Proto Man come in.
But that doesn't...
Because the main thing is the Proto Man is like kind of a natural foil of Mega Man that early on in the series, but he's not, as you said, he's not really a villain or even an anti-hero. And Bass is introduced later to fill that role. I have no idea, okay? I'm just saying it sounds like it might possibly be a good idea. Possibly, maybe. If they did it, it would be a thing that would happen.
I feel like you have to add Bass in because there's so much a lot of it depends on how they approach the story, right? But like Bass's introduction when it means a lot narratively in Mega Man 7. Mega Man 8, I don't care about Mega Man 8. But like in terms of like
how he's not even in Mega Man 8.
He's in the intro cutscene.
There's some guy named Bass in Mega Man 8.
I see what you mean.
I don't know who that Bass guy is. He was kind of weird.
But it's like Bass really is sort of Proto Man's replacement. You know, like once Capcom finally came out and said, okay, yes, Proto Man is a good guy, then they have to sort of fill the void that is Proto Man an anti-hero? Okay, no. So here is an anti-hero for you if you really wanted that. And it makes more of a rival And like, I don't know, because like in Mega Man 7, there's like an actual like almost passing of the torch of the anti-hero rival character, which is, it's like weird, like how Mega Man would have something like that. But like you have like that final battle with Proto Man, which is, hasn't been a battle with Proto Man since Mega Man 7, and base replaces that.
Yeah, and then because the battle with Proto Man in 7 ends with Proto Man being like, you're really the hero. You can do this, and then you get like all the base betrays, and he's the new villain, but he's not really exactly the villain, sort of. Yeah, okay. Although speaking of Mega Man 8, are they gonna do anything with Duo? Because there was no real.
Duo's a main character. I'm gonna be, unless it's like very knowingly like acknowledged. Like you can skip Mega Man 8, honestly.
I think it would be
noted.
Interesting if they did Mega Man 8, but did it like good.
I don't know if you really can though. Like Mega Man 8's plot is that there is an evil energy that Dr. Wily uses to make his robots evil. That's the plot.
There's a space robot.
And there's a space robot. But like,
so what if you went with like, what if Duo was trying to fight like the Star Droids from Mega Man V?
I don't know. Like, it's
like you
just
combine those two, and that's an actual plot or something.
The premise is just so like out of character for Mega Man 2. Like this evil energy sort of thing that comes from space, and it makes. But like Dr. Wily's robots were already evil. Like, what is?
And they don't do anything different.
Like it, like.
Oh no!
Does a little something to Mega Man, but like that's just like not even a thing.
Actually, you know what? His robots in 8 are even less evil. I mean, you've got like Aquaman, who's like he pumps stuff. You got Clown Man. Okay, Clown Man got all the evil energy. But you got Swordsman, who's an honorable swordsman, and then you got like Searchman, who hides and shoots at you. They seem less evil than other ones because they're just kind of all goofy. They all look goofy. Actually, the later Mega Man bosses have started being goofy.
I feel like just leaving Mega Man 8 to be what it is in terms of a narrative adaptation. If they did really well with adapting everything up to that, then I might be okay with it. But it's like, unless you prove yourself, I would just say like stay away from that. Like you're just not given good stuff to work with there. There's tons of other interesting stuff that you can address before that. You can take a long time to get to Mega Man 8. Here's the thing. It would be super cool. I would love it if Mega Man became the new Ben 10. Because like Ben 10's been going on since 2005. It's 2016.
Different, it's like 2 or 3 different shows, and there's like animated movies and a bunch of video games. Maybe this will make us have like Mega Man 11.
So,
actually, what we're gonna get is like the Mega Man cartoon game. It's gonna be a game based on the cartoon, based on the game. So this is gonna be weird.
Now, the other thing is, there's also, which might be competing with it, which would be kind of funny to see, is Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 is still a thing, right?
As a TV. I think the TV show is still a thing. Hold on, let me look. I haven't looked.
I feel the game is a thing. It was just talked about recently, I think.
It was delayed again.
But it is still a thing.
Actually, no, wait. Is it out?
Coming out even?
Is it out? I think it had a release date. It was on the last Nintendo Direct. I remember this.
I love on the Wikipedia page it says, after previously promising no more delays of Mighty Number 9's release on January 25th, Inafune announced the game would be delayed a third time.
Aw, man.
Okay, it says initial release date was February 9th, so I don't know if that's what it was supposed to be, or if that's what it actually was. Although
I feel like people would have started
pre-purchase Mighty Number 9 on Steam. So Okay, the game was scheduled to be released in February 2016.
Yeah, okay.
But was delayed to Q2 to software bugs concerning network operations. Does this have online multiplayer?
Maybe.
Why does every game need online multiplayer?
Don't ask me.
Why would a Mega Man game even have multiplayer?
So yeah, it was originally supposed to be released on September 15th of last year. And then the second time it was delayed to basically this month. And then now it's been delayed again, and I don't think there's been word on when the next release date is. Now, okay, let's look up the TV show. Let's see what the news on that is. Where? Okay. Hopefully this website doesn't start playing the sound. Q2, 2016. So that should be pretty soon. Yeah, April, May, June. So when school ends, basically.
That's when it's supposed to come out.
Yeah. So it'll be out before. From the teaser trailer, it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good at all, if I may be completely honest.
Number 9?
Yeah, no, the TV show.
That's a bummer.
Oh, the TV show.
It's like really like, first of all, like the character Beck, who's like Mega Man, he just makes these weird child noises. He doesn't actually say anything. The narrator just talks, so that would be like, eh. And then also it's like, he's gonna save the world, but he doesn't know how to use his powers yet. But he will one day, and he will save us all. And it's like, not like ironically. That's the joke is that he doesn't know how to use his powers, and like it's not acknowledged that that's like the premise of everything.
Can we have one where like the kid hero actually knows how to use his powers, and he's like super good at it, and the problem is that he's so good at it that he thinks he doesn't actually need to be smart, and just keeps...
I don't know. But I don't
know.
It didn't look very good. I guess we'll see come Q2.
We'll see when... Yes, join us in Q2 when we'll talk about how it's been delayed again.
Of course.
Number 9. It was supposed to come out like half a year ago.
It was.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like, I don't know, it could be like the best game ever, and people are still gonna be like, it's been delayed so often that now it's kind of, if it's not perfect.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's definitely one thing. Like if it's not really good after being delayed 3 times, then it's like, well, then what were the?
I think it kind of have to be like beyond perfect.
Like, definitely.
If this was the single greatest thing that ever has been and ever will be achieved by mankind, then it would be accepted as good, and there'd still be a chunk of the internet who would complain.
But okay, here's the thing, right? Because it's like, I understand, right, that a delayed game is better than a bad game. I get that. That's not the issue with Mighty No. 9. The issue is that they've been so shady about it.
I agree.
Like, it's the Red Ash Kickstarter where they announced that Mighty No. 9 was going to be delayed after their Kickstarter ended. And it was like, before that, they were denying the delays when there were delays, so it was clearly a PR move. That's when I was like, okay, no, this isn't just because to make the game better. Now you're just trying to save your skins, and like using they're starting to use They were using Kickstarter and like not as a crowdsourcing thing, but as a interest gauge, because like they were going to get funded anyway. And a lot of this stuff, I'm not sure. But like, again, like saying that you should fund this next game when we haven't even released the first game. Like, the first Kickstarter that a company gives, I can accept that I'm going to need to have some blind faith in that and trust them, because it's hard for them to get my trust. I can understand that that's just an issue, and so I'm willing to say, okay, we'll see how this goes. But then you have to deliver on that first thing before I'm going to trust you again. Right? Like you have the opportunity to gain my trust now. You have a means and a platform. And if you don't do that, then I don't trust you. But it's, you don't have the excuse of, well, we can't prove ourselves until you give us a chance. It's like, I gave you a chance. That was the thing that happened. Now you have to prove yourself on that chance before you ask for another chance. When you don't do that, it makes it seem like, because here's the thing, right? If they thought that Mighty Number 9 was going to be really good, then wouldn't they have waited till Mighty Number 9 was released so that all the people would think it was really good and be willing to support a new game?
Yeah,
right?
That doesn't make sense. Like, why would you... Especially when you've already delayed your game, like, several times. Mm-hmm. Once at that point, I guess.
So, the whole thing just seems shady to me.
Because apparently the actual single-player game is completely done, and they're just working on the multiplayer, the online multiplayer thing that personally I don't think it needs, because it's a Mega Man game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on, let's boot up the Mega Man.
Can't they release it? Can't they release it without that and then add it later? Like, I don't think many people would be very upset if they did that.
Okay, read that on the Wikipedia article.
Can they, if they, I mean, I know
explain why they didn't choose separate releases for the solo campaign and the multiplayer. You, who's a producer, Nick Yu, argued that it would necessitate 2 approvals and quality controls, which they simply couldn't afford. So,
okay.
Why can't you just not have a multiplayer campaign? Because you have to have multiplayer campaigns nowadays. I don't...
What even is the multiplayer, though? Like,
I don't know.
Like, is it...
Playing is not Mega Man and not Proto Man, I guess.
Like, is it... Like, you get to... Like, is it multiple people playing the single player?
Or is it a completely... If it's a completely new thing, then, maybe, because then it would be designed entirely for... Like, Portal 2 had a single-player campaign and a multiplayer campaign.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer one was entirely different and was built around having 2 players, but
I've lost all, excitement for Mighty Number 9. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
Anymore.
If it's delayed one more time, it'll probably just... No one would care about it anymore, and it'd be, officially dead. At this point, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are, have written it off, but there's still some people probably who are holding out hope. But I don't know. It's just not coming.
I'm almost certainly not going to buy it at full price. If it ever went on sale, I might just for the satisfaction of saying that I did play it. But I would not pay full price for it at this point, unless I heard that it was really, really good.
Yeah, unless every single person on the internet.
I really don't think it's the case, because if they would seem like they would have more faith in it if that were the case. It really doesn't feel like they have faith in it. Concept, the company. It doesn't feel like that at all. But I guess, like all the other things that we've talked about today, we'll just have to see.
Although, in this case, our listeners will have to wait and see too.
Mm-hmm.
For once.
They'll have to wait a month, because this will be up in March, and then a month it'll be April, and they'll probably start being more trailers and commercials for at least the TV show by then. And if the TV show comes out before the game, I feel like there are also going to be a lot of people who are upset. But, okay.
Why does it even need a TV show?
I don't know. That's a whole different thing.
I guess it made sense at first because everyone was hyped over this because it's a new Mega Man game that's not a Mega Man game. And so they're like, oh, it has a TV show too? Yeah! And now that the hype's
the TV show is not even who's the TV show marketed for, right? The people who are interested in Mighty Number 9 are people who liked Mega Man. And people who liked Mega Man are going to be, Mega Man 10 came out in 2010. right? It's been a while. Like, the fan base that's interested in Mighty Number 9 stuff, that would be interested in a TV show, would be probably fairly old. Like, you probably have to aim for at least the, like, 12 to 14 market, or 11 to 14 market, I would think. But it really looks like more like the 7 to 10 market that they're aiming for, based on what I've seen in the trailer. So they're aiming, like, for the market of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, rather than, like, Steven Universe or Adventure Time or Gravity Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Why was there a Pac-Man TV show? There were, like,
the Pac-Man...
several.
Diana, have you seen the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures?
Thanks for trying to reintegrate me into the conversation.
I'm trying.
I've seen, like, little, like, trailer clips of it type thing, but I haven't seen a full episode.
I've watched the whole first season, I'm pretty sure.
Was it
I
good?
watched it with a friend.
Did you like it?
No, it's awful.
So
It's
good.
terrible.
Well, what do you expect? It's Pac-Man.
Okay.
The plot
but, like,
is you're
who
a
is
yellow
this-
circle.
Who is this show for, right? Like, they're... Here's the thing about Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. It's written, I think originally, it is written for an older audience and then dumbed down to a younger audience for, like, every single script. Like, literally, here's like, the prime example of what I'm talking about, right? There's an episode where one of the characters ends up being, like, possessed, and that's why he's acting all weird and stuff, right? So there's a scene where it's sort of revealed a ghost flies out of his body, right? And then he says, "Ugh, I was possessed."
Yes, you were.
Very clearly, like, your audience then is someone that you have to explain that the character was possessed. That's very young.
I thought he sneezed, and it was a really weird-looking sneeze.
No, the ghost just flies out of him and stops possessing him. But, like, what?
Yeah, that's why it was so weird, because he didn't actually sneeze. Well, he sneezed. I don't know. How do you not understand that? Unless you're like...
Yeah, no, it wasn't like a weird situation where it might have been unclear. It was very clear that he was being possessed by a ghost.
I mean, if you're not familiar with the concept of possession, then you'd need it to be explained to you.
Also.
But who isn't familiar with that by this? Like, it's just kind of a big thing in...
Like, I can understand that there are kids who aren't familiar with it, but, like, is that really who you're marketing this revival of a video game from the 80s to?
This revival of a video game in the 80s where the plot was you are a yellow circle, eat these dots, and you'll get got by the ghosts. Like... Also, the two side friend characters, the big red one and the little purple one, serve no purpose. You could completely remove them from the show and, like, nothing. Wait,
plot-wise, nothing.
There's characters besides Pac-Man and the ghosts?
It depends how you want to define characters.
Are there...
Like, half the time, they even just say the exact same thing.
Are there sentient characters, are there sentient objects on the screen that are not
Pac-Man has two friends that serve no narrative purpose whatsoever. They're not even characters. They're just there.
So they're there because Pac-Man can't be by himself, even though the original game he was by himself. Is that it?
I don't know.
Or is it like...
It's not good.
You guys confuse me.
What? Okay. What do you want to talk about, Diana?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm listening.
Want to talk about what video games we're playing? Because it's getting kind of late in the podcast.
Okay. I have been actually recording quite a backlog of my new LP because spring break is coming up and I'm not going to have as much time to record as I would like. So I really hope people like my new LP because I got like 7 episodes recorded already. It'll be out by the time this goes up, so I've been playing Dandelion.
That's I'm going with the theme of this podcast.
Yes, for sure. And then outside of that, that's been taking up most of my gaming time because I want to get a backlog of episodes up. And I was playing Pokemon recently, actually, because my friend got me the level 100 Mew from GameStop. So we've been messing around in... Huh?
Which Pokemon?
Mew.
No, which...
which Pokemon game? I'm sorry. Alpha Sapphire. I had to look at the box again.
Sapphire.
But I switched over, I brought over all of my Pokemon from X using the Pokemon Bank, so I have all of my my X Pokemon in there as well. So I've been actually playing a lot of Pokemon. I've caught a lot of legendaries in the last couple days, and which is awesome, but I'm stuck on one that's giving me trouble. Thank God I saved, so I can just keep going back to it whenever I feel like it. And right now, I actually started replaying Fire Emblem Awakening with some friends over Skype last night, because we all just started playing it at the same time, because none of us had the new Fire Emblem game yet. And I finally got them into my Fire Emblem obsession, and it's great. We've been having a good time. I keep saying every time I replay Fire... I'm actually trying to play it on hard this time, which is really hard, and it's not fair. I keep saying every time that I'm gonna get the avatar to marry someone other than Chrom, and for some reason it just doesn't happen, ever. It's a thing. So I'm already got B level support with Chrom, and I'm on chapter 2. Or chapter 4, maybe. It's kind of sad. But yeah, that's what I've been playing recently. I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Story of Seasons was big for a while too, but I'm taking a little break from that because it's gotten to the dangerous obsession zone. Your turn.
Stefano, what games have you been playing?
So I recently got a Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and I've been playing that.
Is that a new game, or has that been out for a while?
It's been out for a while.
Okay. I'm just unfamiliar, so...
It's basically Street Fighter crossover with Tekken, but it's in Street Fighter style, because there's a Tekken Cross Street Fighter, which is using the Tekken style, except that just keeps not coming out. So, yeah, I also got Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. I have the Wii one, but I stopped playing it because I'm not sure why. I think.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Pretty sure I got bored with it.
No!
Because I got bogged down in the part where you're...
How dare
the early
you?
parts, in every RPG where it's we've got an epic story about you saving the world, but let's start you out as some doofus and have you...
Shulk's not a doofus, he's hot.
Let's just have you wander around some areas doing stupid stuff that's not going to matter to the plot for the first 5 hours.
Have you actually started playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3D yet?
I started playing 3D.
Because you do know it's the exact same game, right?
Yes, it's the exact same game, but I figured it would be different if I, had it
on
the 3DS.
Just making sure.
I know it's exactly the same.
just making sure you didn't buy it hoping it was...
a new 3DS, and I,
Wait, a new 3DS or a new 3DS?
A new 3DS. You have to have it.
An old new 3DS?
Well, it's not a used new 3DS, it's a new 3DS. Yeah, the one with the...
Okay.
The one that you have to have.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3D only works on the new 3DS.
But it's not a new old 3DS.
Oh my God.
No, it's not a new old... Nintendo, seriously, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I know.
You came up with this.
You could have thought of a better name for it, maybe.
3DS...
2? 3DS 2?
3DS?
2 3DS?
Well, they already have a 2DS. It's in 23 dimensions. It breaks physics.
I'm so happy someone else is playing Xenoblade. Oh my God. What? Stefano, this is the best podcast ever.
Because I was on the internet and someone was talking about this crazy plot twist in Xenoblade. I'm like, wait, that happened?
Oh no, did you get it spoiled? Oh, that's horrible.
Not a
No.
Okay, I was surprised when Metalface started talking in Super Smash Brothers. I didn't know he did that.
Okay, that's not okay, that's kind of a spoiler, but that's not the.
I can't tell if I should start listening yet.
It's okay. I'll tell you. We're not talking spoilers.
This is a problem. Someone type in the chat if I can start.
We're not going to talk about spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything.
If you played on the Xenoblade stage in Super Smash Brothers, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty common knowledge by this point.
So yeah, I was surprised when that happened. So I apparently haven't gotten far enough in to actually get to where things start happening. Because I was like, this is going to be great, it's an RPG for the Wii and, all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm just wandering around this giant's knees. That's also a field. And
it's so pretty.
Just some stuff. Oh, yeah, it's pretty. But I'm like, go here. Go over here. You should go over here. You should go over here.
It's so
we
pretty.
Have an epic plot coming, I swear. Just
you'll get there. You'll get there.
Just wander around some fields on this giant's body parts some more.
I promise. Just stick with it. Like it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's my second favorite game after Ace Attorney.
Everyone loves it, and it got a sequel, sort of.
I still haven't played it yet. Bitter.
I need to play that so I can figure out if it's a different game or not.
It's a different game. I've already told you that.
I know, but I keep forgetting.
Okay, well, it's a different game.
I feel like I'll remember it if you actually play it and then start talking about how it's different.
Okay, hopefully.
I start listening because I realized that I have to listen to the.
I was gonna type that in the chat, but I decided not to.
Did you spoil anything?
No.
Am I gonna have to spoil
No.
anything? I heard you say I was really surprised when it turned out Metalface, and I was like, well.
No, that's in Smash Brothers. Like that's.
He can talk. I watched the trailer for Shulk, and Metalface was like, strange to see you here, Monado boy. Or, I don't know how he talks.
Yeah, that's in Smash. That's common knowledge.
Who is this guy? What's going on? And it turns out it's Metalface, and I'm like, I didn't know he talked. What? I'm not very far.
Yeah, obviously.
I think I'm far enough that I expected stuff to be happening. I guess I met the what's her name, Sharla.
Oh, you're not far at all. You're not far at all. You've got so much to go.
That's my problem with RPGs. It's like they always start you out in like some dinky little village, and you have to go kill some dinky little monsters in some cave, and it's like, oh, here's some plot is happening. Go over here to this slightly less dinky town and fight some slightly less dinky monsters in this slightly less dinky cave. And then you go over to the slightly lesser. It's like, and then you're like, wow, this is dumb. I'm just wandering around doing nothing. And then the game's like, are you bored wandering around doing nothing? And you're like, yeah. And it's like, mega super plot twist, and you're like, what?
Good, please.
Wait to get to the next part. Where do I have to go to get to the next part of the story? Well, all you have to do is go over here to this town and fight these guys and do this thing, and then go over to this next place. And you're like, no, you had me, and then you lost me again. And I like to play RPGs because they have great stories, but it always takes forever to actually get to there.
Honestly, just please stick with it and finish the game so I could talk to someone about it, because I really need to talk about it. And no one else has played it that I could talk to readily. It's very good, I promise. You are not going to regret it. I think I said this on the last podcast that I ranted about Xenoblade on, but it's one of those games that you wish you can play over and over again and have every time be the first time that you're playing it, because it's that good. That and Ace Attorney are the two games that I wish I could do that for.
Yeah, Ace Attorney is, once you know the answers, it's both fun to play again, because you're like, oh yeah, I remember before, but then it's like, you don't have the same brilliant mode, because
I love watching other people play it.
In the third game, when there was the part where there's the evidence where it says like the bridge was on fire, and when I got that in my evidence in my court record, I was like, I was so pumped for when I eventually got to point out that they couldn't have done something because the bridge was on fire. And I'm like, I know I'm going to have to use this for something, and I can't wait because... So it happened, and I was just like, I get to present it. And then Phoenix doesn't do it as nearly as awesome as I hoped he would, because I had just been so hyped at this point. Like, I'm sorry, you couldn't have done that because the bridge was on fire at that point! Like... He's just like, the bridge was on fire. And I'm like, you ruined it, man. You had this great bit of evidence, and you're just like, oh, well, this evidence disproves that. Like, if he had broken into a big dance routine, I don't think I would have been confused, or I would have been happy if they just broke out into a giant song and dance routine at that point, because I was so excited to get to present that piece of evidence. This has been Stefano Rants About Something.
I approve.
For those of you, for anyone who's only read the articles I wrote, see, I actually do like things.
Yay!
I swear I like things. I just don't have any idea what to write about, and then my ideas are formed by like, oh, hey, here's something that I don't like, and then I write about it.
What games have you been playing, Joe?
Sad to say, I haven't really had it's midterms right around now, so I haven't really had a lot of time to play games.
Yeah, that's true. I have midterms next week.
It's spring break soon, though, so I will have a lot of time. I'll probably get back into my Mario Maker, see how those are doing. My Wii U isn't here at college, so I can't check on my levels. So I've got a couple levels uploaded, but I don't know what's happened to them if I want to play them or anything. So I'll probably do some of that. I want to play Shovel Knight again, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it now since the 2-player co-op got released, and I can't do the 2-player co-op on my version, but I figure I should play it again, because it's a good game, and it's a lot of fun. So there's that. And then maybe some stuff for the Twitch channel, if I guess worked out at some point. We've been talking about that for a while, but hopefully with spring break I'll actually be able to get focused on stuff like that and start organizing things without having to worry about schoolwork. So we'll see. But yeah, that's that. I don't really have a lot to say.
Alright.
And we are, unless there's anything incredibly pressing, I think it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah, I think we're good.
So, thank you for listening to this edition of the GameCola Podcast. If you like what you heard, check us out on either YouTube, gc.net, the letter G, the letter C, the word dot, and the word net. You can check us out there if you're not listening to us there. We post videos, we'll post, podcasts and stuff like that. If you're listening to this in the future, you can check out our actual internet website, GameCola.net. Right now we're on, the site itself is on hiatus, but we're still doing other media projects like this podcast. You can also check out other media stuff that we do on social media, like our Twitter, search GameCola, or Facebook, you can also just search GameCola. We have a Twitch channel that we're starting to work out the kinks and trying to get up and running, so you can check that out. Again, I think it's just GameCola Twitch. I'll have more clear details once we actually really know what we're doing with that.
Yay!
Did I miss anything? iTunes.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to us on your little phone device or whatever, you can check out the podcast on iTunes. You can subscribe. You'll be subscribed to all our other podcasts too, like Hacks and Slash and any RPG casts that we do as well. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And you can rate us highly if you like us. And if you don't like us, then you won't rate us highly. Who are we kidding? We can try to convince you that you can't rate us poorly, but you could. We can't hide it. But please do not. Please rate us highly.
We love you.
Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real for once. Just being
Wow.
real. You and me, and you and you and you and me.
That was really kind of grim, actually.
What?
I don't know. It just got a lot more serious.
Well, we always do the joke.
We do always do the joke.
Yeah. So I was trying to mix it up. It's also like really late. This is listeners, not viewers. You don't see anything. We're recording later than we usually do, and I'm getting kind of tired. If you can't tell.
Oh my god, who are you?
What?
It's not even late.
I have to go to bed. Okay, hold on. I'll explain. We'll explain this another time. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
We require sleep like normal humans.
Oh, I don't.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, look, I've got like classes at 8 a.m. and 9:30 throughout the week, so I have
Stop
to
me.
go to bed before like 12:30.
All right, go to bed then, you wimp.
I'm not going to bed right now.
Oh.
There's a new JonTron that just got released. I have to watch.
Yeah,
that.
I need to catch up on Criminal Minds, actually. Oh, I should probably stop my Audacity recording.
Oh yeah. What is 1/4 to? No, Google. I don't want 2 times 1/4. I don't want 0.5. That's not what I wanted. Don't start playing stuff. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm recording. Stop. Stop it. Okay, it stopped.
Yay!
We did it. We win.
Ba 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 ba
Ba ba ba dum. Ba ba ba
Okay.
ba. Aw.